Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Diana Scharf. And Diana, I do hope I said that correctly.
You did. Very good.
Thank you. Diana has been programming PHP since she was 11 years old now, and that makes me feel just really old. But you can see her entire bio. I apologize, Diana. I got lost in my comments. I can't wait to hear this talk. One of the things I love about this conference, and when they asked me if I would be interested in doing it this year, I was excited about it, is because I didn't know any of the speakers. And for the PHP community, that's unusual for me because I know most of the people that speak, but we've got a whole new crop of speakers. So Diana, I am just enthused to see and excited to see what you're bringing to us. And with that having been said, take it away.
Okay, thank you. So here's my screen grade so I can share my presentation, and yeah, let's get started. Before we start, just let me introduce myself. Hello, my name is Diana Scharf, but everyone on the internet calls me Dee. I'm from Germany and I work as a full stack software developer at Beyond Code, where we make tools for developers, so tools for you. For example, Tinkerwell, the PHP code runner, which helps you to test or prototype your code in your local environment as well as on a remote host, without setting up any test routes or other cumbersome workarounds. It's a real helpful tool. I develop it every day and I use it every day. Away from the keyboard, I enjoy reading, sports, and being outside with my dog. So if you want to see some dog pictures, or if you like what I'm talking about today, you should follow me on Twitter, which is @DianaWebDev. With that, let's dive right into it. First things first. This is not a talk like, look at my perfect and fancy and shiny career. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and by sharing the lessons I learned, I hope to save you from making at least some of the same mistakes. But mistakes aren't bad in general. Failure isn't fatal, as Winston Churchill said one time. The only thing that counts is the courage to continue. And you will notice that this is about the whole mindset for my talk today. When it comes to career advice, you often hear phrases like, find your passion, do what you love what you do. But nothing is wrong about these in general, but they are what they are, phrases. And for career advice, they are not useful. And this is not a talk like this. You won't hear any phrase from me today. Every story I tell you is out of my own experience. Every advice I give you is battle tested on my own career. So for today, I have one promise, which is no bullshit. To start, I want you to think about Monday. Not next Monday, last Monday, any Monday in particular. Just Monday as the general start of your work week. Imagine the following. You sit at dinner on Sunday evening, you had a great weekend, and suddenly something pops up in your head. I have to work tomorrow. Ask yourself just for 2 seconds, how do you feel? Do you feel like, hell yeah, tomorrow is Monday, can't wait? It's like going to a party for you, if you like going to parties. Or is it less exciting, but still fine? Well, okay, tomorrow is Monday, I like working. Or is Monday for you nothing, but a big fat, oh no, I don't want to. I mean, that's the equivalent of the thank God it's Friday people. It's just the other way around. Of course, not every Monday will be the same. One Monday will be great, next Monday won't be that great. Just take an average for yourself. And if you're not in this range between hell yeah Monday and okay Monday, I suggest you think about changing something. Nothing drastic, like quitting your job tomorrow. Please don't do that because people will be mad at me. Because think about it like you think about software development. Your career is like an application that has grown over a few years, and it will have some bugs and performance issues. Do you throw it away just because of that? No, you don't, because you will work on it in several iterations, making some pull requests just to make it better. And you can do the same thing with your career. But actually, how to change something? I mean, I know it's hard. You're rotating in this day-to-day loop between your work and your family and so many things to care about, and all the stress from the outside, like a pandemic and whatever. It's so hard to catch the present moment, maybe evaluate and change something about it. But again, I think as developers, we have an advantage because we have analytic minds. It's our daily task to question the status quo. We have an inner drive for progress and improvement, which makes it easier for us to improve our career. Little warning ahead, I'm afraid it is not as easy as software development, but I'm sure we will find one way or another. With that, back to the Mondays. I thought about Mondays a lot in the past, and I found about something that I call the Monday feeling. And I learned that I can use it as an indicator on how satisfied I am with my job right now. The Monday feeling is the first of 4 indicators I found out about, and it's really simple to test. Just ask yourself, is Monday my friend, or does he hit me in the face? You can use the Monday feeling as a weekly check-in on how satisfied you are right now. And if you're not sure, if you're in this range between hell yeah Monday and well okay, like I showed you just a minute ago, I suggest you take action and keep track of your Monday feeling. It's quite simple. Just take a piece of paper or open up a new Notion page, doesn't matter, and write down 1 sentence every Sunday evening about how you feel about the upcoming Monday. I did this some time ago, and I took it a step further than that. I had a great job quite early in my career with a great team. It was well paid, and I did Laravel there. I'm a Laravel person. But at some point, it started to suck. And I promised I will be honest with you today. So I say I had a bad mental state at that time in my life. So I wasn't sure, is it just me that everything sucks right now, or is really something wrong with my job? So I opened up a new Notion page and I asked myself every day, every workday, not just Sundays, the following questions. What did you do and how did you feel? Really simple but powerful questions. And I dig deep into my Notion archives because there are some entries that might be interesting. I wrote something like, I'm afraid that I unlearned to make good user interfaces. I was really afraid that I would unlearn to make good code, good systems, front and back end. What I do feels a bit useless. I was overwhelmed with work, but I was still bored. That can happen. And I wanted to do everything except for my work. I kept track of this journal for about 3 months. And after that, I had proof for myself, confirmation for myself that something was wrong and I should change something. And then another indicator I found out about is the dollar index. Do you earn money or do you get paid pain compensation? It's quite easy to use the dollar index as a monthly check-in. Just ask yourself every time your salary or your paycheck arrives, how does it feel? Is it an honest reward for your work or is it just pain compensation? For me, as long as my job is good, time just flows by. Oh, it's paycheck time again. That's great, but where did the last 30 days go? But as soon as my job tilted into an opposite, not that good direction in the past, I found myself thinking, yep, everything sucks, it's bad, but at least I get paid well. And that is always the moment where I realize, stop it. You have to change something. I mean, I know money is really important for every one of us. I mean, we have to pay our coffee with something, right? But our daily job is a too big part of our lives that anybody should work just for the money and be unhappy about it. It's just not worth it. So, another mind experiment. Imagine you sit down at your desk tomorrow morning. Sorry, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I hope you don't have to work tomorrow. So, Monday morning, next Monday morning. But suddenly your boss calls and she tells you that you don't have to work anymore. You're not fired. You're not fired. Everything is fine. You will get your paycheck just as you're used to, but you don't have to work anymore. Ask yourself, how fast do you walk away? Do you just stand up and walk away slowly? Do you even consider staying where you are, pretending like nothing has happened? Or do you run away? What is your escape speed for your current job? How fast would you run if nothing mattered? If you ask me today, yeah, I will stand up and go for a walk with my dog. But after that, I would return to my desk and work on Tinkerwell or whatever it is for the day. If you asked me some time ago, yeah, I don't have a story, but I have this perfect gift for this. I would jump out of the damn window just to get away from this company, which makes my escape speed basically the acceleration of gravity, which is pretty fast. You can ask yourself, how fast is my escape speed? As many times as you want. It's especially helpful if you're in a really insecure period in your career and you're really not sure, am I doing the right thing? So this is my coffee reminder. Because I have another story for you. And this story has everything that a good story needs. It has programming, heartbreak, and a happy ending. Let me tell you how I started coding. When I was 10 years old, I wrote my first lines of good old HTML. Soon, a few lines of CSS came along the way, and after some months, the first PHP code popped up. I mean, PHP 4. It was bad code, but it worked, kind of, and I had so much fun. Over the years, I learned more about other languages, frameworks, technology in general, but PHP was and is, until today, my favorite language. I love PHP. That's a fact. I love it with all its flaws and with all the great things that make it better, for example, Laravel. But can you imagine that at some point, my love for PHP faded and my love for programming nearly broke? Let me tell you how this could happen. I had this great job early in my career. I already told you about this one. And I got assigned to a new client. To be honest, the code base, it was just hell. It was PHP code, but grown over 15 years without any framework. It had no version control until some point. It was a complete mess. At first, it was a challenge for me because this is how I work. Show me a bad system and I will shake it up with anything I know about good software development just to make it better. But at some point, I realized that this wasn't what the client wanted. The client wanted it to work, with big air quotes here. And we had different definitions of a working system. So in the end, I was just running around all the time, extinguishing fires, helping my coworkers, adding duct tape everywhere. It was a messy hell. And at some point, I got into a coping mechanism that every developer will experience once in a while. When in doubt, start a side project. Nothing is wrong about a side project, but I got full into it. I worked whole weekends. I worked late evenings. I was so hungry for work with purpose and good code. I even learned a new language, a new framework, just because I didn't want to see any line of web development code anymore. I wanted my love for coding back. And at that time, I realized that there is another indicator. It's the side project count. I will do everything else, but please, no code from work. And the side project count is really, really easy to check. Just every time you open up your terminal and type git in it for a new side project, ask yourself, why are you doing this? Are you coping like I did back in the day? Or do you just can't get enough of coding? Then I say, take care of yourself, remember your breaks, but go for it. It's great. So I told you about the 4 indicators that I found out about. The Monday feeling, the dollar index, the escape speed, and the side project count. And you can use these as tools to evaluate how satisfied you are with your career right now. And if you say, let me think for a minute, everything's fine, then I'm really happy for you. That's really great. But it's quite likely that it won't be like this forever, and you decide that you have to change something. But actually, how to change something? We had it before, it's hard. But I thought about changing careers and how to change a career a lot in the past. And luckily, I found out about the 5 fixes for your career. Yeah. This is bullshit. I promised you no bullshit. So I will be honest with you. There is no quick fix, no patch, no workaround that will fix your career in a day, a week, or even a year. The only thing that you can change within the blink of an eye, not even a second, is your mindset. So I suggest we go with 4 impulses for your career mindset. The first impulse I have for you is the most important one. What is success? And why is it so important? For that, let's hop into software development again. What is the first thing that you do when you start a new project or when you just start coding on a regular day? Do you just hop into your IDE and hack in as many lines of code as possible? That's not the first thing that you do. Before you even start touching your keyboard, you have an idea in your head. You imagine something about the result. Before you start, you think. And you should apply the same process for your career. Before you start your career or change directions in your career, think. So just let's think together a bit about success. What does success look like? Does success look like working at that fancy corporation, having that fancy car? I would take this Tesla, to be honest, but okay, not this topic. And like having a huge mansion with a lot of money and like really social status thing. Or is success working at a smaller company, a regular 9-to-5 job, sometimes remote, next to your cat on your couch, and go surfing after 5 p.m. Or is success traveling the world, seeing a new country each month and just work wherever you are on your own, like a freelancer? Let me tell you something. None of this is success. And at the same time, everything of this is success. Because success is individual for every one of us. It looks different for every one of us. So instead of asking, what is success? You should ask, what is success for you? After I quit my last job, I was a bit lost. I wasn't sure. What should I do next? What's my next step? So I sat down and opened up a new Notion page, like I always do when I'm in a personal crisis. And I thought about what is success for me. And to give you an example how this could look like, I came up with 3 things. I don't want to be rich, but I also don't want to count every penny that I spend. I want to work remote, so I can travel and I can spend a lot of time with my dog. And the third, and for me most important thing is, I want to work in a team where I can grow, where I can contribute to something meaningful and learn something new every day. And after I realized this, I could commit to a goal and take steps into a specific direction to reach that goal. Spoiler alert, it worked. I assume you heard at least one of these at some point in your career. Do what you love what you do. Follow your passion. Work hard, dream big. Do it with passion or not at all. So, let me get this straight. You only need to find your passion. And that great career that you're dreaming of will just come by itself. No. I'm afraid these phrases are what they are. Phrases. And for career advice, they are bullshit. Let me tell you why. Think about your daily job as a developer. Do you get paid because you're passionate about PHP or Laravel or Symfony or WordPress or whatever? You don't, because passion pays no bills. You get paid because you fix a bug, you implement a new feature, or you share your knowledge with your client. You get paid because you serve a greater purpose, and purpose pays bills. Passion is just about you and the thing that you're passionate about. It's a bit of an ego thing. Purpose is about your work, the outcome of your work, and the influence on others. It's more of being of service for other people. Nothing is inherently wrong about passion. It can help you to become a great developer. I mean, I am passionate about Laravel. But passion can be very dangerous for your career because passion can trap you. And I know this because I was in this passion trap for a few years. I had a job some time ago where everything seemed just awesome. I did Laravel there. I had a great team. It was so fun to work there. And I just loved what I did there. I was so passionate about my work. I worked overtime by choice just because I had so much fun. And at some point, I didn't even have the need for a vacation. And this is not healthy. I just loved what I did for coding there. So nothing wrong, right? At some point, I even neglected obvious problems about my job and that company. I built false loyalty just because of my passion. And my passion made it hard for me to quit. Nothing is wrong about loving what you do. Let me say this again. This is not wrong. This can be great. But please watch out. It doesn't mean that you should ignore everything else around it. It may happen that you're stuck. Just everything sucks in your career. And before you continue with your complaining and this everything is bad circle, just stop for a minute and consider your perspective. For a really easy example, let's take this. Do you hate this entry-level position or your internship just because it's not well paid and you think that you're too good for it? In this specific example, it may be just your ego talking. Change your perspective, because perspective matters. With that entry-level position or internship, to get back to this example, you learn a lot of things about how it works out in your field in general, which is extremely valuable knowledge. And there are more situations in which a change in your perspective can enhance the whole perception of something and improve your feeling about a situation. But of course, it can be that you're still stuck, regardless of your perspective. And the costs of quitting are just too high. In this case, I learned out about something that I call embracing adversity. It means that you take that obstacle in your way and turn it into your advantage. In simpler terms, you make the best out of a bad situation. This approach is unique for every situation, so I don't have a catchy advice here for you, but I will tell you a story to give you an example on how this approach helped me over a really hard time in my life. This is not a funny story. After I finished school, like 18 years old or so, I started an apprenticeship for software development here in Germany. And this means that you work at a company for about a quarter of a wage. And you also go to a dedicated school where you learn specific things for that job. After you finish a lot of exams, you get a certificate. And here in Germany, we love a good certificate. At first, it was quite cool. I mean, coding for a living, that's nice. But after some time, I realized that all the indicators I told you about were like flashing red. And this had a few reasons. The first one, there was no such thing as work-life balance at the company where I worked. The second and bigger problem was I was the only woman in my class. And at some point, the other guys, just guys, started bullying me for the only reason that I am a woman. I know this because they literally said something like, "You don't belong here. You belong into a kitchen or hairdresser shop." They made fun of me constantly. Even the teachers made weird jokes about women in my presence, like the really creepy, not safe for work stuff jokes. And some guys even tried to sabotage my work, my code at that company. This went on for a few months. And at some point, I just couldn't do this anymore. I was done. And I knew I could not keep going like this. I had three options at this point. First one, quitting, dropping out. But this wasn't really an option for me because I still like coding and I wanted to finish this graduation. Second one, try to keep going like this for 3 more years. But this wasn't another choice because I knew I wouldn't endure this any longer. Third option, skip classes and finish the whole apprenticeship sooner as the other guys in about 2 years instead of 3. So I tried to take energy from the desperation I had in me, the anger, the fear because of the constant threat, and use this energy for studying. By that, I got really good grades. I could skip classes and finish the whole training in not even 2 years. I turned down every job offer from the company to work there as a full software developer and went straight to university. I was out. Embracing the adversity in my case meant to push myself over my limits, learn how to deal with, let's say, difficult people, And most important, I learned how to distance myself emotionally from the situation. But maybe nothing of this works. None of the impulses I had for you will work. Neither embracing adversity nor changing your perspective will help. And then it's very important that you remember that you can always quit. Maybe not today, next week, next month. But remember that nobody forces you to work where you are right now. But you might say, yeah, but everybody will know that I failed. That's your ego talking again. And I think your mental health is more important than your ego. Or you might say, I am stronger than this. Yeah, stronger. What for? Keep in mind that you can always quit, because otherwise your career can become your prison. And we don't want that. So enough of the dark, sad talking. Let's wrap it up, because I am hungry. And depending on your time zone, you might be too. I told you about 4 indicators that you can use as tools to evaluate your career. And I also told you about 4 impulses that may help you if you want to change something. But I also promised you no bullshit. So this might not work for you. None of this. I mean, today you can go to the most fancy school, plan everything ahead, and still end up on the street, because in today's world, there are no more guarantees. But I can give you the following promise. If you work with indicators and impulses like these, edit them, make them better just for you. You will develop a mindset that will bring you forward just by itself. You will go from reacting to acting, to forming your own way. You will go from bug fixing your career to developing your career. And in the end, you will grow. And that's like the whole point about it. With that, I say thank you very much for tuning in today. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. And if you have any question, feel free to ask. I will be in the Slack channel for today for a little longer. And yeah, thank you very much.
Diana, we've got a question. Robin has asked, how do you deal with imposter syndrome in this situation?
Big thing. Imposter syndrome is like, I had this in the initial draft of this talk, and I noticed that this could be like a whole new talk. And I struggle with this until today. And I have like really simple tips for this. It's like being really present when you're working, realizing how far you have come, and really just something simple like I have like some kind of a learning diary until today. I have this like since university, so maybe 5 years or so, where I note down everything that I learn on any given day. It's really helpful. Because if you like skip through it after some time, it's like, okay, I know this and this and this and this and this, and okay, maybe I'm not an imposter.
Very good, very good. That was a phenomenal talk.
Thank you very much.
You have learned some lessons that I learned along the way, but you learned them much earlier in your career, and I wish I had learned them much earlier in my career. I have gone from agreeing with you to, boy, I feel seen now. So that was a great talk. Thank you, Diana. I
Thank you very
really
much.
appreciate that.